Hi everybody, welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. In this video, because it's Veterans Day, I want to talk about the military and why you should think about joining the military if you're of that age. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like this video. If you end up liking it, hit the notification bell, and leave comments. I can know your thoughts about this. So today is also our anniversary. It's our
15 years.
15-year anniversary. Um, so we're celebrating that as well. We got married before I joined the military, so it's just a happy coincidence and maybe meant to be. I don't know. But in this video, I don't have the virtual background because it doesn't work with my Stetson that I'm wearing. It tends to disappear. So we're just doing a non-virtual background. Now this video is for anybody that's interested in joining the military. I'm going to break this up into why you should join the military in general, or reasons that you may want to, and the benefits of doing it. Then after that, I'm going to talk about um, being a veteran and being the benefits of being a veteran. And then after that, I'm going to talk about the Army specifically because I served in the United States Army. I only did one enlistment. It was from 2013 to 2016, and it's the best thing I've ever done in my life, except for getting married and stuff like that. Um, I would absolutely go back and do again, and I encourage people to do it if they feel that it's right for them. After that, I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and so that's primarily what my channel is about. But this is just a general video. But at the end, I want to talk about some maybe church-specific things that relates to joining in regards to joining the military, if you're a member of my church. Okay. So, first of all, I just want to talk about the military in general. Okay. The reason why I joined, okay, everyone has different reasons for joining. The reason that I joined is because I needed a way to support my family. I had gone to school for accounting, and then I switched to a different program as an aircraft dispatcher, which was just a 1 year program. And I got licensed, couldn't find a job that I wanted to take anyway. And so I decided to join the military because I thought that that would help me afterwards in getting a job in aviation.
Well, when we were deciding what job to get, we fasted and prayed about it,
Mm-hmm.
and we were led to the military.
Yeah. Um, so anyway, the reason why I joined is because ever since we had our first kid, we wanted for Jenica to be able to stay home and be a homemaker, and for me to work, and we were able to successfully do that up until the point after I finished college, and the next stage, since I wasn't finding any jobs that I wanted to take, we prayed, and then I joined the military, and that's one of the main benefits I think is you can support your family being in the military. And I was not an officer. I wasn't even an NCO, which is a non-commissioned officer, or in other words, a sergeant or above. I was a junior soldier, and I started out as an E3, which is a private first class. And starting with that, I was able to support my whole family.
And with the pay that we had, along with the extra pay you get with being deployed, we were able to get out of debt and live debt free the whole time we were in the Army. We had a good budget, but we were able to, like I said, get out of debt and live debt free.
Yeah, a lot of people like they'll say things like, "Oh, you don't get paid much as a soldier," and I guess that's true as far as like your actual paycheck is concerned. But you have to consider that they pay for your housing. So if you're a junior soldier and you're single, you live in the barracks, so you're not paying for rent, you're not paying a mortgage. And then the same thing if you're married, you don't have to live in the barracks. Um, if you're married, or if you're, I think it's like an E6 or above, you don't have to live in the barracks. If you aren't, then you do have to live in the barracks. So if you have a family, you have the choice of either living on post, which is free, you don't have to pay for anything except for like utilities, and then um, or you can live off post, and they give you a stipend. It depends on the zip code. I think it's all based on the zip code. But they give you money, and you can use that money toward your rent or your mortgage or whatever. And then whatever you have left over, you can use for whatever. So you actually do get paid based on like the little experience that you have as a junior, especially like if you're fresh out of high school or something like that. You are making good money, I would say, and I think that there's evidence in that in the fact that any military base that you go to, all the privates or all the junior soldiers, airmen, marines, they all drive these like muscle cars because all of a sudden they have all this money. They buy
Fancy
Xboxes.
shoes and
Yeah, so you actually do get paid pretty well compared to like if you were a civilian, like if you didn't have a college degree, you do get paid well. And in my case, like, we were making enough to where I could support my family of at the time family of four.
and we even have some friends that bought a house on what they were making. Josh, he was the same pay grade as you, pretty much, right?
Yeah,
And they bought a house out there. We didn't buy a house because we knew we weren't going to stay, but they planned on staying for a while, and they were able to buy a house, and it was a cute house, big size, not huge, but it was a good size, and I think 3 bedrooms. So they were able to do that with their military pay, and she didn't work either.
yeah. Now, being in the military, it is a good family experience, with the exception of like the time that you spend away. Uh, it depends on your job, your rank, your unit, you know. But you actually do get a lot of time off as well, and I'll get into that later. But it was an incredibly good family experience. There was one time that we went to the Houston rodeo. Like, you could like for that day, instead of going to work, you were allowed to go down to the Houston rodeo. They got everybody in buses and chartered buses. Anyone who wanted to go.
For free.
Yeah, for free. You had to like sign up for it, like you know, because like they had to have some people back at the unit, but um, most anybody that wanted to go could go. And so for free, everyone was shipped down from Fort Hood, because that's where I served was Fort Hood. And I was active duty, by the way, so I'm not really talking so much for like National Guard or reserves, although some of this will be applicable to you, some of it. But for free, we were all shipped down in these buses to Houston. And there was like, I think it was like the state fair. I'm not sure what it was. But there was a rodeo, and we got free tickets to ride the rides. We got free food the entire time that we were there. Well, we were given like these like food uh,
Coupons.
coupons, and it actually had like money value. So we were able to get like fried Oreos and fried stuff, all the different
All
things.
the fun stuff. We didn't have to worry about saving money, so we have to buy the cheap stuff here or bring our own food in. We got to indulge. It was great.
Yeah. So it was like really good and really fun. That's like some of the stuff that you can expect when you join the military is like these special little perks. Um, okay. Also, what?
And there's also a ton of fun things they just have going on. Like one day you'll find out, oh, we're doing a little thing at this school, and we took our kids and they got to ride ponies and play games and go inside some military vehicles and play around that they were sick, and it was really fun and great for the girls for our kids to experience that. And they things like that happen all the time, so it's great for families.
Yeah. Your unit will put on holiday parties. So like for Halloween, they put on a thing down at the motor pool. The motor pool is where like all the trucks, tanks, shipping containers, equipment is. Then they had like this bay, and so we went down there, and they had like this haunted house that they put on, and a little trick or treat thing for the kids. That was
Food.
yeah, everyone dressed up. It was really fun. For Christmas, they put on a Christmas party. You'll have somebody in the unit dress up as Santa Claus, and you do just like what you would expect at a Christmas party. There's food, there's games and stuff like that. For Easter, on post there's like this baseball field area, and like my unit got that one day, and like they did like this big Easter egg thing, put like Easter eggs all throughout the field, and then the kids would like all line up, and then when they said go and get as many Easter eggs as they could.
We even had a special experience where one of our daughters found the special eggs, so they won a big basket full of toys and candy. It was really fun for her.
Yeah, and then like Jenica mentioned, like my kids have been able to get in all these different military vehicles. They've been in Humvees, they've been in LMTVs. usually during like these kind of events. But like it's really cool the hands-on that your family can get. Um, we lived in the west part of Post in a place called Comanche 3, and there was like this kind of back road that we would take to get home called Turkey Run, and it goes right along this tank trail. She has okay. Our son's being a little bit loud. It goes along this tank trail, and so driving home a lot of the time from like the commissary or the PX or whatever, you'd have like these convoys of tanks and Humvees and vehicles going by, and it was always really fun for us to watch and fun for the kids. There because there'd always be trainings and stuff going on. So at any given time, even if it was on a weekend or whatever, you'd have units that were going out to the field. You'd have these convoys going by parallel to Turkey Run. You have like just the tank trail right here in Turkey Run, and they ran parallel to each other. Um, Another thing is like there are these chaplain retreats. So one thing that's kind of hard in the military, it's not necessarily conducive to a good marriage. Unless you work at it. Like it wasn't like a problem for us because we have a strong marriage, but they're worried about people's morale and staying together, and part of that is strengthening marriage relationships. So chaplains will do chaplain retreats where you and your spouse will go. And the one that we went to, it was on a regular work day. My place of duty was at the chaplain's retreat, so this was during work time. We went to like this ranch that was nearby Fort Hood, and they had horses, and um, they did this whole like I can't remember what they call it, but like animal therapy or something like that, where you and your spouse you'd pick a horse and name it and pet it, and like they had like these exercises that you would do. But like for that day, my job was to go to this fun place, not in uniform, with the chaplain and talk about marriage and how to strengthen marriages and stuff like that. That was one of my work days.
They had lunch for us, and it was really a nice day. We remember that
Yeah.
very much.
Another thing in regards to the family experience is you have the concept of, Army wives or Navy wives, I guess, Marine Corps wives, where there's a special bond between the wives, and the spouses, right?
Yeah, you basically you understand what each other's going through with your husband being at work. You're all in the same boat, so it's easy to connect with the other women there. And especially your neighbors, because you're all getting your kids off to school. Your husbands are all gone the same time, and you have the things in common to talk about. So we made good friends with our neighbors as time went on.
Yeah. And like I said, we lived on post, so all of our neighbors, all of them were military just like us. So it'd be fun to talk to your neighbor that was in the military and just talk about, army issues, and then the wives and the spouses could talk to each other. So everyone's like all on the same page and pretty much the same stage of life. Um,
The wives, we would share meals too. So we lived in a cul-de-sac, so it was really great. But we would make meals and share it with the other wives and families, and it was really fun. So you got different. I don't know. It was just really good connections with our neighbors. It was good.
yeah. For us, the on post housing, we weren't in like one of the newer units, but like we were in a pretty decent house. It was a little bit older, but it was just fine. Like it felt like home, and it was really cozy. We'd have like fires in the backyard with a fire pit, and have our neighbors over, and it was just a really good time. Now, moving on. So the cool thing about the military is that everybody, for the most part, most people that are on post or on base are on the same schedule. It's typically a 9 to 5 work schedule. You have, and I'm only speaking for the Army. I can't speak for the other services, but I think it's generally the same. You have PT in the morning, which is physical training. Uh, Again, in the Army, it's 5 days a week from Monday to Friday. So you get up, you go to formation in the morning. At 6:30, that's when you salute the flag. They take accountability, who's make sure everyone's there, and then you start PT and you do PT for an hour. Um, so it's really good because like one of the benefits of the military is that you stay healthy, or like it helps you to stay healthy. You can get fat if you allow yourself to, but like it really helps doing PT in the morning. every morning, Monday through Friday. Um, you get pride. At least I did. You get pride every morning when you salute the flag. You have one main flag that's on post, and in the morning at 6:30 it goes up, and then it stays there until 5 o'clock, and then it comes down. And as it goes up, there's a speaker system on post that plays. There's like these different songs that they play for when it goes up and when it comes down, and also for other occasions that don't even have to do with the flag. Like at nighttime, you'll hear maybe you'll hear taps or you'll hear some bugle playing. Even it, you could hear it from our house, like the on post housing. You could go outside and then maybe it would be a time when they're playing the bugle. So it's like a really cool experience. Um, let's see. Now you work 9 to 5, but you do get, and I'm sure it's still like this, and I'm only speaking for the Army, but you get hour-and-a-half lunches, which if you've worked for just like a regular employer, usually you get like a half-hour lunch. I guess it depends on what kind of job you have. Maybe if you're like working a salary job, maybe you get like an hour lunch or something like that. But here you get an hour-and-a-half lunch, which is pretty generous, and we really took advantage of that.
Yeah, he came home every day for lunch, and we had that time together. It was wonderful.
Yep. We'd eat lunch, maybe watch a show together, or
Yeah.
just whatever. So now Thursdays, and I'm sure it's still the same, and it might vary by what post you're on or whatever. But in the Army, when I was in there on Thursdays, it was a short day. They would call it sergeant's time training, which was the one day during the week where you kind of step outside of your regular job and you do like a special training. So maybe one week it's going to like an obstacle course, and then for another week maybe they're doing a class on um, CBRN stuff, which is chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear. So like maybe a class on like gas masks or proper procedures or like learning how to use equipment or whatever. So Thursday was like a special day for a special type of training every week, and then you would typically get off. I think like just like an hour or two after lunch. I'm already starting to forget, but like so basically in the Army you have short days, and it's every and it's on Thursdays. Um, and then you do those really fun like sometimes it's kind of boring, but like sometimes it's actually pretty cool the training that you do. um a lot of times Fridays are cut short. um when I say a lot of times, I'd say maybe 30% of the time, something like that. um you're not working for a corporation, right? You're not um on the clock per se. Everybody in the military is basically salary. You're not being paid hourly. So uh, a lot of times in the lead up to a weekend, whatever that day is, whether it's Friday or another day, it's not uncommon for like morale purposes to cut the day short. You might go meet somewhere, maybe over at the bingo hall. Like every base has a bingo hall
And a bowling alley.
and a bowling
And a
alley.
theater.
Yeah, and they'll use these different buildings for also for trainings and stuff like that. So you might go like meet at the bingo hall at you know 1300, and then it's like, okay, we're gonna do just like a safety briefing, and then we're gonna release everybody. Maybe there'll be like a little training that they do, just like a short little briefing, and then they release everybody for the day. So there's kind of a lot of short days in the military. On top of that, uh, and again, I can't speak for the other services, but like every month there is typically a 4-day weekend, and they usually try and put that around like a holiday, right? So if it's February and it's Valentine's Day, and the Valentine's Day is like on a Monday, then they may give you Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off, or maybe Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off, and that's like every month. There are some months where they don't do that, where maybe you get 2 3-day weekends or something like that. But yeah, like every month you get a 4-day weekend, which again, that's pretty darn amazing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
especially when you can compare it to just like your typical employer. It's like it's really different and it's really cool.
Yeah.
Um, on top of that, so you typically get all the holidays off. Okay, you get like all the holidays off. Um, with the exception, if anyone's watching this that's also a veteran, with the exception, you might get put on duty for like they do these like 24-hour duties where you go to like the battalion building and you're on staff duty, and that's where you sit at the desk 24/7. You answer phone calls, or you just man the desk, and there's like certain things you're supposed to do. There's also CQ, which is in the barracks, where there's always a desk downstairs in the barracks where there's two people. You have a sergeant and then a junior soldier, and they're there just in case something comes up in the barracks. So you might miss a holiday because of that, but it's rare.
And normally the soldiers that don't have families are willing to take the shift of a soldier that has a family.
Yeah. For the Super Bowl, I think every single year they would give us the next day. They would make it like a half day, like you didn't have to come in until 1300 or something like that. So they do like cool special things like that occasionally. You also get 30 days of leave, so paid time off that you can choose pretty much whenever. You have to like put in a leave form and request days and get it approved. Um, because like obviously your unit has different things going on. Maybe there's like an important training or there's a field training exercise or something like that. But you get 30 days off a year, and if you don't use it, you can cash it out. Um, let's see. Talk about living on and off post. There's also travel, obviously, and and I don't just mean deployments, but like for example, uh, when I joined, I went to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri for my basic training. So I was in Missouri, and I got to see a little bit of that area, mostly like after basic training. Um, but I went to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and then for my technical school, or in other words, AIT is what we call it in the Army. I went to Fort Lee, Virginia, which is a lot less restrictive once you're out of basic training and you're in AIT. It's still pretty restrictive, but we got to go and see the surrounding area, and I got to experience a little bit of Virginia. After that, I went to my first post, which was first and only post really, which was Fort Hood, Texas, which is right in the middle of Texas. It's about an hour away from Austin, um, and it's a pretty equidistant location to like Dallas and San Antonio. Houston's a little bit further, but even though that's where we lived, for me, it was almost kind of like an extended vacation because I'm not from Texas. We're originally from Utah and Arizona. Now we live in Kansas. I'm out of the army now, as you can tell. Um, but we got to explore Texas for that 3 years, and it was a really fun experience. We love Texas.
Yes, and I don't know if you have this thought about it, but places like SeaWorld and I don't know the other places that do it, but I can only think of SeaWorld because that's what was in Texas. But once a year, you and your family could go to SeaWorld for free. So that was well that'll get into the perks of being a army that the you get just free perks everywhere. But that was really fun. Our kids look forward to it every year.
Yeah. So we explored all those cities and then all the small towns around us. It was really fun. Like I said, it felt like it was just a big, long, extended vacation. And then on top of that, for me personally, I got deployed to Afghanistan, so I got to experience that. I came back early. I was medevac back. It wasn't a combat thing; it was another issue. But on the way back to the United States, I was in Germany for 2 weeks at the hospital there. That's at Landstuhl. It's kind of by Ramstein Air Force Base, which I got to go there too. But I got to see Germany for a couple weeks, and that was really fun. So you're even if you're just like stationed somewhere, consider it travel. There's some people that it's not really a deployment, but some people get stationed in like Korea, um, and they're there for like a year or whatever. It's not a combat deployment, but you can take your family, and I don't know a whole lot about that because I haven't been to Korea, but there's like situations like that too where you can travel. So it's really cool. Another benefit is just the pride of wearing the uniform. You know, the ladies like it if you're a guy. um, you feel good while you're wearing it. You feel a sense of pride. So it's just like a little benefit that you get out of it. Um, when you're in the military, your family, your friends, people they're proud of you. Unless you have like a punk, you know, family member or friend, like most people are going to be proud of what you're doing, and they're going to get a sense of pride of having somebody that they know that's in the military. You get a lot of like thank you for your service, like even now, because like today I'm going to be wearing this while I'm out just to celebrate Veterans Day, and but like when you're in the military and you're in uniform or whatever, or someone can tell that you're in the military, you get a lot of thank you for your service from civilians and stuff like that, and that always feels really good. um, but it does make you stand out, not just wearing the uniform, but being in the military or a veteran, uh, within your circle of friends, within your family, within your church, within your workplace. Once you have become part of the military, and then afterwards, once you're a veteran, it really sets you apart from just your typical civilian, and that's kind of a good feeling too.
I loved it when we would travel anywhere and Jared was in his uniform. It was really special for me. I felt the pride of his serving and the patrioticness of that. And then the people that would talk to you because they would see you're in uniform and you can meet a lot of people that way. And it's just, it's really great. I really loved it when he traveled in his uniform and he got out and pumped gas, and I just felt proud of my husband that, yep, that's my soldier.
Yeah. It's because like you're in a job where you're not just like working for a company to make the company money. You're doing something that's of like real great significance. It's important. It has to do with national security. It doesn't matter what your job is in the military. You're doing something very, very significant, and that by itself is a big benefit. Is knowing that you're actually doing something that has worth, and it's not just making money. Um, let's see, you gain a lot of skills in the military. One big thing that they push is leadership, and you do gain those skills. um, Even if you're a junior soldier, you might be put over a couple other soldiers just in a small way, to kind of guide or direct them or train them or whatever. But they really want you to rise in rank. If you're enlisted, they want the goal obviously is to become a sergeant, and then from there become a staff sergeant, sergeant first class, all the way up. Um, and it's really important for you to be able to lead, and those skills will go on with you after the military. Um, you'll grow in many different ways. Like you'll be pushed beyond what you think are your limits, and that happened to me many times. And I still benefit from that today, because now there's certain tasks or things where before maybe I'd be like, that's too much. But now, having been in the military, I know that like there's not a whole lot that I can't do. It might suck, but you can definitely do it. You become stronger essentially.
Right. When he joined and he would have all these things he needed to do, he became more, just like he said, more able to do tasks. Like I was amazed at the person he was becoming. Like getting up and sticking to his duty and doing the things he had to do, and he would just, I would think, man, where does he have the motivation to do that stuff? But he does it, and it came with him after the military. And I feel this small because he does so much, and I don't have the motivation like he has. But the military pushed him to be a hard worker, and it shows.
It sticks with you. Even when I walk, like I walk fast because the nature of my job, I was in supply. I was a 92 Yankee, a unit supply specialist, and I had a lot of stuff on my plate. on my plate, even as a junior. Well, I guess especially since I was a junior soldier, I had all these different tasks I had to do. I was like really busy. I was in a really large unit too. I was in a HHC, which is a headquarters and headquarters company. So we had a larger property book, and so there was a lot more stuff to do. And so even to this day, I walk fast, like everywhere that I go, and it just like it's just naturally part of me now. So I'm a lot stronger now. Obviously, you get a lot of discipline from the military. You know, there's a lot of people that'll say that they went in as boys and came out as men, and it's true because if you weren't raised with very much discipline, you were going to get it in the military. Um, so your character and who you are is going to change, and it's going to change for the better. Um, Now, moving on to there's a lot of special perks that come with being in the military. For one, once you have your military ID card, or it's called, I think it's still called a CAC card, a Common Access card. Well, I guess just CAC, Common Access card. Once you have that, you can get on any military installation that you want to. Any one. Um, we went to multiple. So that's really cool to be able to like go on leave, go to visit your family or whatever, and then wherever the nearby base is, you can just go and walk on, and you can go to, and you would do that because maybe just to kind of check it out, but you'd go there maybe because you want to go to the PX, which is like the military department store, or go to the commissary, which is the grocery store. Um, and those are other perks. Is the PX in the Army? It's called PX because we call our bases posts, so it's the post exchange. If you went to an Air Force base, because they call their bases, it's the base exchange, so the BX.
And the commissary sometimes has food that's cheaper than you can get it at a regular grocery store. We always shopped at the commissary because it was very, well, not always. We sometimes went to the grocery store for certain things, but at the commissary, one example is really good cheese. The Tillamook cheese was $6.99 for 2 pounds, and at the grocery store, it's like $14 a pound, or for 2 pounds. So we always got really good cheese.
Yeah. So certain things are priced better, not always, but another perk of buying stuff at the PX or at the commissary is that it's tax free. So you potentially save money there. Um, so that's one reason why veterans even if you have access to getting on the installation, will go and they'll shop at the commissary or the PX. Um, they also have associated with the exchange, like that's like the company or whatever. They also have a gas station called the Express, and it's run by the exchange, so you can get cheaper gas. I think it's just like the tax that comes off, and that's why you would do that. You also have the MWR, which is the Morale, Welfare, and Recreation, and they are like I don't know if it's like a government run thing. I'm not sure if it's private, but basically, just like it sounds, like when you're in garrison. So in other words, if you're not deployed, you're at your base. Um, you can go there. Uh, you can rent equipment for cheap, like baseball bats, whatever. Um, I think like maybe camping equipment too. When you're deployed, they'll set up like movie theaters, depending on where you're stationed, where you're deployed. But they'll have like where I was in Bagram, they had like a had a movie theater set up. They also had, I think they were the ones that ran the gym. There was a gym there with all sorts of workout equipment and stuff like that. Um, anyway, we're probably gonna have to cut this short. I have a lot more to say, so
Maybe we'll do a part two.
there might be a part two. There might even be a part three. There are more perks that we're going to go over, but we'll cut it short right here. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like this video if you liked it, hit the notification bell, leave comments if you have any additional information, any thoughts, or anything that you'd like to share, and I'll talk to you guys later.